Hopefully you've made it through a successful growing operation, you've had a good drying process, you've cured all your cannabis buds, now you're looking for storage. And now you're realizing there's a lot of material options for properly storing your cannabis buds. Well, here at DeBacco University, we're going to give you some advantages and disadvantages of some common materials so you can make an informed decision so you can have the best long-term storage for what you've worked so hard to grow and produce. All right, let's get into material options for storing cannabis. So first off, you want to keep the environmental conditions optimum regardless of what material you're actually choosing. Regardless of whatever you choose, environment is still important. And those environmental conditions are important to monitor to help maximize the storing of your cannabis while also maintaining a high quality. Now it can be a very high-end regulated kind of Cannador product here, or it can be just the environmental conditions that it's being stored in. Does not have to be super high-end, can be large scale, but keeping it monitored and regulated is very important. Now there are different material options. You can think of it like different material options for water bottles. Cannabis can be properly stored in a number of different materials, not just one correct material. Each material does have its own advantages as well as disadvantages that a grower must recognize to determine the best fit for their given situation. And here in this video, I am going to provide you with a host of options as well as the advantages and disadvantages to allow you to make that informed decision. So first off, storing cannabis in glass. These are typically easy to acquire and commonly used for display as well as storage. Mason jars are the industry standard, but there are other options that can be larger or smaller. But the ball mason jars is probably the gold standard. You can get the lids, you can buy new lids so everything can seal up really nice. It's really easy to acquire these. This is probably considered to be probably one of the more common options. Now, why is it a more common option? Well, the glass itself is inert. It's very hard, it's not biodegradable, so it makes the glass material advantageous. However, most are clear, which would require a dark environment for storage, so just keep that in mind. There are different colors, but also present similar challenges as clear as they're still letting light in. So while the material itself has a great advantages, because it is clear, they should be stored in a dark environment. Not necessarily hard to do, but something to keep in mind if you're selecting this as your option. So others will look at what's called violet glass to basically store the cannabis buds in. Violet glass blocks visible light with the exception of the color violet. So we can see here, lets some light in, but a lot of visible light is reflected. It's semi-permeable, depends on the specific glass type as well as the thickness to UVA and infrared light, allowing about 40 to 60% to penetrate. So keep that in mind that you are getting some degree of penetration, but it is a lot less than clear glass, for example. So the advantages of selecting this type would be it does limit the light penetration, can help protect bud quality over clear materials. The downfall is wavelengths filtered may be low exposure to buds anyway, and this can be also difficult material to acquire. So that leads us to storing in stainless steel, as we can see right here. Many cooking safe containers can easily be used for storing buds. These containers offer great storage conditions. This material is less likely to become damaged compared to glass. So there's again some of the benefits and pretty easy to acquire and easy to seal up as well. So reason why someone would use the stainless steel was it is an inert material, seals the bud environment from the outside, and offers the ability to block light. The downfall is it can be heavy and they come in limited sizes and shapes, which could impact storage depending on how much room you have for adequate storage. Then that leads us to storing in plastic. So cannabis can degrade in plastic containers, can often allow for easy stacking though. Plastic materials can have great degree of variability, meaning you can have plastic bags or you can have plastic buckets or containers. Now, storing cannabis in plastic, the advantage is that it's really easy to acquire, very easy to get as bags or buckets or bins. It's not likely to become damaged because it is rigid. However, the disadvantage is it can lead to degradation of the buds, particularly for really long-term storage, which is why a lot of growers choose not to use plastic. It can be good to be used in a pinch, can be good for short-term operations as well. So keep these in mind when looking at selecting your material, so you can select the material that's the best fit for your situation to allow the longest storage of your buds, and keep in mind that the environment is also important as well as the materials you select to actually store your buds in.